Do you remember the story of an engineer who billed $10,000 just to make a single chalk mark? Most people think it's a myth, a clever parable about expertise and value. But what if I told you that story was real? And the man behind it? He was a 4-foot-tall, hunchbacked German immigrant with a thunderstorm for a brain. His name was Charles Proteus Steinmetz, and he didn't just fix machines. He rewired the entire world. Welcome to Lost and Found, the past, where forgotten stories spark back to life. It's the early 1920s. The River Rouge plant, Henry Ford's crown jewel, was the most advanced factory in the world. It produced Model Ts faster than you could say assembly line. But one day, the heart of the factory, a massive custom-built generator, just stopped. Dead silent. Ford's top engineers poked, prodded, recalibrated. Nothing worked. Millions of dollars in delays were at stake. The clock was ticking, and that's when someone said, "Call Steinmetz." Charles Steinmetz was no ordinary engineer. He stood just over 4 feet tall, his spine twisted by scoliosis and hip dysplasia. He walked with a limp, carried a cane, and had a face etched with pain and genius. But what he lacked in stature, he made up for in brilliance. When he entered the Ford plant, he didn't ask for tools or technicians. Just a notepad, a pen, and a cot. For 2 days and nights, he slept next to the broken generator. He didn't speak. He just listened to the humming, the buzzing, the silence between the sounds. He scribbled strange equations, filled pages with numbers that looked like alien math. Then suddenly he stood up. Steinmetz requested a ladder, some chalk, and a measuring tape. With slow, deliberate steps, he climbed to the top of the generator, each movement painful, each moment tense. He measured carefully, then made a single chalk mark on the metal casing. He climbed down, turned to Ford's engineers and said, "Open the casing here and remove exactly 16 windings from the field coil." The engineers stared. 16 windings? Based on chalk? But they did it anyway, and when they flipped the switch, the generator whirred, the factory lit up, and Henry Ford, for once, was speechless. A week later, Ford received a handwritten invoice. Services rendered $10,000. Now, $10,000 in the 1920s was no joke. We're talking over $170,000 today. Ford, who was generous but frugal, asked for an itemized breakdown. Steinmetz replied with legendary precision, making one chalk mark $1. Knowing where to place the mark, $9,999. Total $10,000. Ford paid the bill in full. No protest, no complaint, because he understood what he was really paying for. But who was this man who could diagnose machines by sound alone? Charles Proteus Steinmetz was born in 1865 in Breslau, Germany, now Poland. Despite severe physical disabilities, he was a child prodigy with a photographic memory and an obsession with mathematics. He fled Germany due to his socialist affiliations and landed in America in 1889, where he quickly became a legend in the world of electrical engineering. He unlocked the math behind alternating current, AC, making the spread of electricity across the United States possible. While Thomas Edison waged his war for direct current, and Nikola Tesla became a showman of science, Steinmetz was the quiet genius behind the curtain, doing the hard math nobody else could. authored over 13 books, invented formulas still used today, and mentored a generation of engineers who built the modern world. And yet, almost no one remembers his name. Steinmetz lived modestly. He smoked cigars, loved camping, and adopted a son he met through work. His house in Schenectady, New York, became a think tank for GE's brightest minds. And he loved thunderstorms. In fact, he once created artificial lightning over 120 feet long in a lab just to study it. Reporters called him the Wizard of Electric Power. Einstein admired him. Ford needed him. And the world, it ran because of him. Charles Proteus Steinmetz died in 1923 at the age of 58, but his legend lived on, tucked into a story about a chalk mark and a $10,000 invoice. And maybe, just maybe, that story survives not because it's clever, but because it reminds us that genius isn't always loud or flashy. Sometimes, genius is small, quiet, hunched over a notebook in the dark, and it knows exactly where to draw the line. If you enjoyed this story of forgotten brilliance, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more strange, dramatic, and true stories from the shadows of history. This is Lost and Found, the Past. Thanks for watching.